Hey guys, welcome back to MMA Library. Today in MMA and UFC news. In a recent interview, Dana White discusses MMA media members saying they knew Khamzat was going to destroy Kevin Holland. Here's the clip.
I love Kevin Iole.
Yeah.
Okay? I love Kevin Iole. Kevin Iole, we're at the press conference. He's like, yeah, that's what I expected. No, you didn't. No
way.
You didn't. And if you really are honest in saying that you expected Khamzat to destroy Kevin Holland, you're lying. There's just no way.
Paulo Costa recently went off on Khamzat Chimaev. Here's the clip.
Gourmet Shane finally accept that fight. I don't believe that, At least I saw the contract, signed the contract, and that I will believe. Because I know that, man. Oh, come on. Not with me, I know all these mind games. I'm on this sport. I'm on this, on this business for a long time. And I know all these tricks, all these mind games. You have... And I don't believe in you. You are scared. Fight me.
Nate Diaz also hits back at Khamzat. Here's what he wrote in a recent social media post. Duh, I retired you from 170. Jared Cannonier recently spoke to Helen Yee about the upcoming fight between Israel Adesanya and Alex Pereira. He then goes on to speak about the Charles Oliveira and Islam Makhachev fight. Here's what Cannonier had to say.
And looking at that title picture, Israel, he will be fighting Alex Pereira, someone he's very familiar with in kickboxing. So who do you think it favors now in MMA?
Well, it definitely favors Izzy more. He's been here longer. He's had all these 5-round championship fights with the best in our sport. So it's definitely different. He definitely has the experience in that regard. He's altered his kickboxing style more for MMA. Alex still has sort of a kickboxing sort of base, if you will, his stance. Not to say that it's not to say that it's a detriment to him, but it can be exploited as far as MMA goes. So I think the advantage lies with Israel in that regard. The power lies with Alex for sure. They're both the same size, So Alex is definitely. I think Alex is denser. Is definitely going to be a denser opponent. So he's probably a little bit heavier. But yeah, that's definitely going to be an exciting fight.
And another exciting fight coming up in a couple weeks at UFC 280. In that main event, Islam versus Charles Oliveira. Who do you think takes that one?
That's a tough one, man. But I'm going to lean towards Oliveira. Oliveira is a world-class grappler on the ground. He's not afraid to be there, and he doesn't just get taken down and just goes limp like a wet noodle or anything like that. He's actively searching for finishes, looking for strikes off of his back. If he's on top, he's definitely trying to hit you hard and finish you. And his striking has come a long way as well. He's definitely feared on the feet. He's rocking these guys. He's knocking them down. And didn't he get a knockout in his last fight?
Submission.
He knocked him down and then submitted him. So, so I think Charles has it.
Earlier today, the UFC revealed Derrick Lewis versus Sergei Spivac as the headline of its UFC Vegas 65 event, scheduled for November 19th from inside the Apex in Las Vegas, Nevada. At Bellator 285's post-fight show in Dublin, Scott Coker had this to say about Nate Diaz.
The last one, I'm sure you're going to get asked about this one quite a lot. Obviously, Nate Diaz is a free agent. You've been linked with him. Is that someone you're going to be gunning for?
Well, here's the thing is that, my guys reached out to the management, and the management came back and said, look, he still has an exclusive negotiation period. And so, let's see how that plays out.
In a recent interview, Michael Bisping entertains the possibility of a Conor McGregor versus Paddy Pimblett fight in the future. Here's the clip.
Paddy says he would consider fighting McGregor down the line in what he claims will be the biggest pay-per-view of all time. I'm reading Harrington's notes, everybody. This is what he's put here at number 2. And he says to me, would it be the biggest of all time? How many fights would Paddy need to get a shot at Conor? Well, I'm going to throw that at you, Harrington. You take the helm.
I think, listen, if Paddy can go on a 5-fight win streak, that's a real conversation. I don't care who you're beating. I don't care what's going on. If you're beating 5 guys who are UFC caliber and the kind of sales numbers that could do at that point, yeah, why wouldn't you book that, right? What's a bigger fight for Conor McGregor now that Nate Diaz is no longer with the promotion?
Yeah, well, I mean, Paddy is, you know, we said before, lightning in a bottle. That kid is, he is, you know, and he's doing sensational things. And much like, it reminds me when Conor first came on the scene, to be fair. You know, when Conor first came on the scene, people could not get enough of him. You know, and it's kind of the same way with Paddy. You know, he's engaging. You know, so far in the UFC, 3 fights, 3 quick victories. You can say what you want to say about the level of opposition so far, you know, but he's not ranked either. You know, so therefore he's fighting a similar level guys. You know, he does it in an entertaining way. He's finishing people. He's rocking it on the microphone. He's hilarious in interviews. Do you know what I mean? So I totally get it, 100%. And yeah, it's kind of funny. Paddy says he would consider fighting McGregor. Well, you'd have to check if Conor would consider fighting him first.
Sean O'Malley gives his prediction for how his upcoming fight against Petr Yan will go.
Looking at that fight against Peter, I mean, you're a pretty sizable underdog.
I think if you ask the smartest guys, the best fighters in the world, what do you guys think? You know, they're like, oh, I don't know. It's a tough one. But you ask like the casuals and it's like, oh, Peter's going to smoke him. He's, you know, 3-1 underdog or whatever. But I think I'm a little surprised, but I kind of get it from other people's perspectives. But, you know, I believe I'm better than Petr Yan, and I believe I'm going to go out there and beat his ass. So I guess I am kind of surprised.
But with the win over Peter, is the expectation and the plan to fight for that title next?
Pretty much. I mean, I don't see it going any other way. It's hard to say. Obviously, I go out there, get through Peter. It depends. Aljo, TJ, who wins? Is there injuries? Is there surgeries? You know, that Cheeto fight's always lingering around. I believe that will make most sense in the title picture. But we have options. The bantamweight division is the most stacked division in the UFC right now. It's so fun. So we got options. Ideally, go out there, knock Peter out, fight for the title next year, and then yeah.
And did the UFC say anything to you about this fight, saying that the winner will get that title shot next?
No, but I mean, how are you not gonna give the guy with the biggest name a title shot after beating the number 1 contender? I mean, that's just how the UFC works. So I think that, you know, I'm pretty sure I'll get the title shot.
In a recent interview with Henry Cejudo, Khamzat Chimaev says if he moves to middleweight, he will take Adesanya's head off. Here's the clip.
What I would like to see, if I was in your position, if I was your coach, when we have the same mentality, I would like to see 185 pounds and then go down. I would just like for you to do something different that nobody's ever done. I would like to. I think the easier fight for you than Kamaru Usman would be Israel Adesanya. I really do.
Yeah, I'm ready for him. I told him when I see last fight, I told the guys, the easy fight for me. You know, like how he fights, how he fight the guy. It's like, for me, makes comfortable when I see this fight. He gets took down and he give his back to the guy who is not wrestler, not like ground guy. You know, like never all his fights he doing on stand up. What his name? Robert Whittaker, take his back. When I see that, if I take his back and he's off his head, you know, like take off his head.
Guys, thanks so much for checking out the video. If you like the content we do here on this channel, don't forget to like and subscribe to MMA Library for all the latest MMA and UFC news. We'll see you in the next video.